looking at it through the SIF lens, could you give me maybe an example, maybe you've experienced this, of something you've noticed, witnessed, a situation, a scenario, and how you applied this model to get to the bottom of what was going on?
Yeah, for me, the most common usability part of this in an unplanned way is when I'm out in the field doing a verification of controls. So I'll generally observe people implementing controls, whether it's barricading or working at height drop zones or those sorts of things. So whatever that sort of control is, when I observe it, I'm now wanting to have a conversation with them about, so talk me through the process you went through, which is sort of the system, right? Tell me the process you went to understand your risk and understand your controls and work their way through that. Then as I'm talking to the team, I want to start asking some questions around, so how do you think it's working and what do you think would make it better and what do you think some of the challenges are in getting this right and how effective do you collectively think those controls are? And then one-on-one with the individual who's mainly interacting with that control. So when we go out and observe, so we had one a few weeks ago where the barricade that was up looked good on the surface, so the observable part. When I asked the question around what was the process for identifying and defining the need for that barricading, they identified that there was a falling risk, like there was a risk of falling, but the barricade that they were using was this barricade tape, which wasn't going to stop anyone from falling. So then I asked collectively what the team thought was the focus of that control, and they said, well, our default is to put up barricading. And I was like, okay, so what is barricading meant to do? So now I started to get into a conversation around what they all shared meaning of that type of control. And what they started to realise was barricading to them was a visual representation of there's a risk.
Right.
Not actually that barricading was actually there to protect us from falling.
Yeah.
So it then changed.
To them it's like signage.
Correct. Yeah, it's just beware, there's a fall risk, right? And that's not really controlling anything. It's making it more visible. Mm-hmm. Probably means as humans we're going to notice it, hopefully. But really it doesn't meet any good quality level of level 2 type controls. So that was an example where I'd used this model for quite a while now, where I instinctively asked questions about the process they went through, but what they thought about it and what their thinking was. So then we could work into it. Then I'd go into the individual and say, so what would you think would work better? You know, what would you do differently to make sure that we're actually putting a control in place for the fall potential? And then the individual who was responsible for that part of the area was unpacking their own thoughts and processes around what that would be. So they ended up putting more physical barricading up that actually stopped people from going to the edge.